I'm good down here.
I definitely don't want to be by Steph. Come on, man. I mean,
Steph got the questions. All right.
First of all, I'm really proud of our group. Came out with a lot of energy. Did an excellent job on the defensive end for most of the ball game, making things tough for them, and that was our challenge. That's what we talked about. And everybody that got in the ball game contributed in a big way. Certainly defense has been and will always be our identity. I thought they played incredibly well together and connected on both ends of the floor, and it's a big first win for us.
For either DB or AT, could you guys what was it like to see Dijonai's defense, specifically in that first half against Clark?
Now, Maggie, why do you always split it up? Just ask her.
no. Neither of y'all want to talk about me?
Nah, Nay's huge. We knew what she was capable of. This is what we expect from her, but to take on that job and to play it at that high level and do things on both ends, we're proud of her, but don't get too big-headed.
Thanks, AT.
DV.
Oh, you want me to answer?
Oh, no, sorry. I got it. For you, you've kind of quietly become the 5th leading scorer in WNBA history. Just what did it mean to you to hit that milestone, especially in the first game of the season like this?
It was huge. It was a goal of mine after we lost last season. But to do it here on this night with this team, with this group, with this crowd, our fans, it just made it even more special. I wish my babies could have been here because that was the only thing missing. But man, I don't know, I guess I'd credit Alyssa for 8, 9 of those assists. So but it was just huge and goal of mine that I can check off my list. It just says a lot because to be in this league is hard. To stay in this league is even harder. And to be part of that list is just, I don't know, it's amazing. Kind of pat myself on the back for that one.
DeWanna, another question for you. Do you run out of words to describe AT? Coming out with a triple-double to start the season. I know it's what you've seen her do for so long, but how would you describe her impact tonight?
Oh, man. I don't know. I guess I am out of words. It's just, she does a lot for this team. Now this is my favorite story. We actually had a practice without her the other day. And it was probably one of the worst practices we had. So we know how much it means, to this team. But to come back and pick up where she left off, for me personally, I felt like a lot of people felt like last season was a fluke and it wasn't going to happen again this season. For her to set the tone and that wasn't a fluke, I'm back. That's just huge of her. So proud of her. I think the whole team is, and we brought her back. She got us going, and that's what she do.
Congratulations on the win, guys. Alyssa, for you, knowing that this was going to be a game with a lot of eyes on it, I know you've talked about, the attention and trying to make sure that your accomplishments line up with how people see you. Did you view this as an opportunity to be able to do that in front of a particularly large audience?
I took the audience out of it. I think for us it's, year 11 for me, another first game, and just the opportunity to have a playoff crowd and, having that kind of fan base behind us, it's always a lot of fun. If it fuels me, I feed off of it, but nothing changes for me. I approach the game either way, whether there's no one watching or everybody in the gym watching. I think that's what I want to set the standard as for my game, that, it doesn't matter. This is who I am.
Over here. AT, DB just talked about, you not wanting to prove that last year was a little bit of a fluke. I guess what is motivating you at this point in your career, and is that something, wanting to prove that, last year was not an aberration? Is that something that is top of mind as you approach this season?
Like you said, I think people think it was a fluke to put up those kind of numbers, something that was never seen before. It was unheard of, but this is my game. This is how I play each and every night. I think pretty much every game last season I flirted with the triple-double. So a lot of it goes to my teammates. They make it easy for me. They hit the shots. I just put it where it needs to go. So as much as it's about me, it's also about them, because none of it is possible.
Hi, Dijonai. It looked like you took your defensive assignment pretty personally tonight. At one point, it looked like you even did the "you can't see me" move. No?
I missed that. Me too.
So tell me about what motivated you, and in particular, did all the attention that Caitlin Clark has gotten factor into your energy tonight?
You always come in excited the first game of the season, but I felt like, my teammates and my coaches put a lot of trust in me. And obviously I came off the bench last year. I started this year. So I just felt like, when my teammates trust me and they put that faith in me, it gives me a lot of confidence. And, they've been in my ear all week and all through training camp. And this is what they expect from me every night, whether it's Caitlin or whether it's whoever we're playing. So, this is the expectation. This is the standard.
Alyssa, you mentioned that, you feed off the crowd and that fuels you to the triple-double. Did that feel heightened today, and do you expect that to continue throughout the season with crowds like this?
I don't know. Hopefully it continues. But yeah, it fuels me. We always have a great fan base here that loves and supports us. And yeah, we feel it. I feel it. I've been here, going on 11 years. So they've been rocking with me from day one. And I appreciate them. And that's one of the reasons why we have one of the best home records in the league is because of them. And like I said, without them too, none of this is possible.
Dijonai, just wanted to quickly ask, when you went back to the locker room, did you just tweak something? Was it like
You're getting old.
cold, or was it a cramp or something?
Nah, I just caught some mean cramps in both calves. It was crazy, actually. Yeah, so I gotta hydrate better. So that's on me. Less coffee.
Questions for Coach?
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Bree Jones, what you saw from her. I know she was coming off of a lengthy absence last season.
Yeah, I thought she was really good. You could tell early she was rushing a little bit, missed a couple of easy ones. So we wanted to be intentional when we brought her back in the game about going to her and getting her going a little bit, having her see the ball go through the net, gain some confidence. But, the things that she does that don't show up on the stat sheet, the communication on defense, the plug in the gaps and being in the right place on-ball screen defense, taking away bodies on the offensive end so somebody else can come in and get an offensive rebound. I mean, she just does so many connecting things for our team outside of just scoring the basketball. And so it's huge to have her back. We certainly missed her and put a smile on my face to see her out there again. Yeah, I mean, I expect her to. She's Breezy's a starter in this league, and she's experienced. She understands what it takes. She uses her experience to her advantage. To my left.
Yeah, Steph, you've been with AT for over a year now. From what you see, are there nights where she has more of an edge than other nights? Was tonight one of those nights, or is this really just a consistent level for her?
This is who she is. I mean, she's one of the most elite competitors I've ever been around. And the only other competitor that I can compare her to is Tamika Catchings. Just that level of competitive spirit every day. Doesn't take a play off. We'll run through a wall. We'll do whatever it is that's needed. Sacrifices her body. That's who she is. And that doesn't change no matter the opponent. It doesn't change whether it's a back-to-back. It doesn't change. It's who she is. And it's not a surprise to any of us that she keeps putting up these numbers. It's not a surprise to any of us that she does what she does on a nightly basis. She's one of the best players in this league, one of the best players in the world.
Coach, front row to your left.
Hey, Coach. Was it an automatic for you to have Dijonai shadow Caitlin Clark, or is that something from watching film of how teams have guarded her in the past that you did that and had the right person doing it?
It was an automatic because that's what Nay does. She's an elite defender. The challenge for Dijonai is now doing it for longer periods of time. She mentioned it. She came off the bench a year ago and always gave us a lift, always gave us energy, always checked the opposing team's best perimeter player. And it was Tiffany Hayes and it was her. So this is what we expect from her. the growth from her to be able to come into the starting lineup, be able to understand that expectation and be able to do it consistently is the challenge. And she did that here tonight. This was step one for her. And she's going to have that challenge every night on the opponent's best perimeter player.
Ty and Dijonai both had some clutch moments for you guys tonight. I mean, just how did you feel like the two of them fared making their first starts in this kind of atmosphere?
I thought they were great. Ty knocked down some big shots, and Ty struggled from the floor in the exhibition game. So I was really proud of her in the way that she bounced back. Nay as well. It's oftentimes it's tough when you're asked to defend the opponent's best player to then find your offensive rhythm. Sometimes that's hard, and I thought that Dijonai did a terrific job. She made the right reads. She made the right plays, didn't play outside of herself on either end of the floor. She stayed incredibly disciplined on defense. And again, we're gonna need that from her on a consistent basis.
One more from the room, and then we'll go to Zoom for a question. Howard?
Coach, real quick, just Mariah Jefferson, what you saw from her, but also I wanted to talk to you about Alyssa Thomas, seeing somebody who, there was a sequence early fourth where she missed a shot, got her own rebound, finished it. A couple plays later, she's guarding Caitlin. How significant was it for you? You talked about the growth of women's basketball at this time, for AT to be seen in this game specifically.
It was really significant. We know that the fans of the WNBA who have been around for a while know exactly the type of player that she is. For us to introduce her to a new audience, introduce her versatility, her competitive spirit, the way that she approaches the game, her professionalism. It was big. It was exciting. It was one of the most exciting things for me that I wanted to happen tonight. She's going to make the right play. We can match her up on anybody in that situation. Dijonai was out of the ballgame. I didn't like our guard matchups, and so I told AT she was going to guard Caitlin Clark. And she's like, okay, right? Like, she just does it. And I think it's one of the benefits of having a player like her. She can play all 5 positions. She can do it at an elite level. She's not afraid of any challenge, and she raises the level of our team's competitive nature. And Mo, I thought Mo did well. It was hard for us to get her in there at certain periods of time. She's working her way back and hasn't really been in a lot of practice flow yet. I wanted to get her in a little bit more, but the game just didn't play out like that. But I thought she did a good job when she was in there. She knocked down a big shot for us. I mean, that was a huge shot. She's going to work her way back, and she's going to get more time. I just wasn't able to get it done tonight.
Turn to Zoom for one. Lindsay, go ahead.
Hey, Steph, nice win. I wanted to ask you about Dijonai's length is so clutch defensively, and just what is that like when you watch her in practice? How annoying it must be to have to be guarded by her.
Yeah, she does a lot of things in practice that show us that she's an elite defender. The challenge, the thing that I always tell her is she's got to be an elite disciplined defender. She went for the steal the one time and she got it. But staying disciplined to the coverage, staying disciplined, through multiple screens with multiple levels of effort when things don't always go your way. And again, that's part of growing into a starting role, is the consistency of it. And that's going to continue to be her challenge, but she's ready for the challenge. I mean, this was an opportunity for her. She knew it was an opportunity for her coming into the starting lineup, and she's taken it. Some players just wait for the opportunity and then they think it's going to be theirs, and they don't just take it. She's taken it, and she's taken ownership of it.
Last question, Coach, front row.
Steph, turning over both Caitlin Clark, but also the team as a whole, the Fever, they had 25 turnovers. For your defense as a whole, how is that so important, just setting the tone, and what was working well to allow you guys to really throw them out of their defense or their offense?
Well, when you have the two of AT and Dijonai, setting the tone just with their energy, with their effort, with their ability to be active defenders, I mean, it really does set the tone for everybody else to follow. But that's our identity. I think we led the league in forced turnovers or points off of turnovers or something a year ago. I wasn't always pleased with our weak side getting to some of those. I think we could have had more, but I felt like we had timely ones. When they were making a run, when we needed to get stops, and then that allowed us to go on a run. So, it's what we do. I don't think we're a high-risk, high-reward team. I think we're very strategic about the opportunities for us to turn people over. But when you've got elite defenders, you get those opportunities throughout the course of the game naturally.
We'll start right here on the left.
Was it back?
Take it out, take it out, just take it out. Coach, we'll start right on the left.
Coach, I know there's a lot to talk about with this game, right here. Obviously, the big headline is Caitlin. 20 points, 4 threes. What impressed you the most with the positives that you saw today from her?
Yeah, I mean, she was able to knock down some big shots, obviously. We're trying to, we had Kelsey Mitchell back for the first time, so that, we're trying to, it's going to take time to figure that out. Excited for her to be back, though. But yeah, I mean, Caitlin was able to get her own, her some looks and was able to knock them down. We just got to get, our spacing was not great, so we're going to have to work on that. Connecticut came in and they punched us in the mouth tonight. And we don't have a lot of practice time for our next one. So we'll be in the gym tomorrow watching a lot of video, trying to figure out how not to turn the ball over 25 times for 29 points.
Front row on the right.
Christie, kind of going off that last point with the turnovers when it came to Caitlin in particular, was it stuff that you thought she was rushing? Was it stuff that Connecticut was doing? I know they obviously doubled her. What did you see that made it so difficult for her in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to help her out. We've got to do a better job of coming back to the ball. We worked on that a couple times, several times this week, just knowing that was going to probably be what they were going to do, both on her and possibly E-Dub and Kelsey if she played. But we just have to do a better job of getting somebody back to the ball, her coming off, and when that double team happens, her getting off of it, and then us looking to go inside right there because of how, where their defense is at this point.
Coach, I can sense your frustration. What's most frustrating about this loss for you?
Just, there's just so much that we need to work on. And we just, this league, it's not very kind to us right now with our schedule and what we have coming up next. And that was, to have to watch video and not be able to go out and work on something, it's two different things. You can watch, but it's different. So it's us trying to figure out how we can change and fix what we need to in 24 hours without a practice.
Go back front row on the left.
Ben, go ahead. Yeah, you mentioned that, they punched you in the mouth. I guess, why do you think they were able to do that early on?
Yeah, well, that's who they are. The ConnecticutSun is a good team. Give them all the credit. My gosh, they've just got so many weapons. They hit big shots. I'm just really looking forward to going back and watching kind of how, we had some breakdowns defensively and how we were going to guard some of their split actions with the guard-to-guard screens. You put Bonner at the 4 and you run a pin down with her, with Banham, that's tough to guard. So, there's just some things that because they're so talented, that they can do. So we just got to get back to the drawing board, get back to figuring out, how we can get those stops.
Go back front row in the middle to Howard.
Coach, when you saw out of Kelsey Mitchell tonight, number one, how gratifying is it to see her? It seemed like she was able to get stronger as the game went on. And number two, to a lot of the problems you're alluding to tonight, how significant is getting Kelsey Mitchell at full strength to solving some of those problems?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think getting her in. But again, she hasn't practiced with us. So that chemistry with her, as a dynamic guard as well, that's just going to take some time, and we're only going to be able to get that in games. So, but yeah, really exciting to get her back. I think we went over maybe a minute of what she was, we were trying to keep her under. But yeah, just really excited to get her back.
Go back front row on the left, Scott.
Yeah, Coach, how do you deal with in general now moving forward with length, with physicality for the entire team as you go up against that with maybe size difference? And then also, how do you maybe jumpstart offensively AB and what she's trying to do inside?
Yeah, we've got to get AB some touches down there. we've got the spacers to keep them from getting a double team or triple team. We've got to do a better job of, I think more comes to like if people are going to guard us the way they did tonight, which if I was playing against us, I'd watch this video and guard it the same. We've just got to make sure we are moving, we're getting off the basketball, and we're able to get the ball inside to her because she's one-on-one in the post with them in those reds and those double teams.
Front row on the right to Chloe all the way.
Yeah. Dijonai Carrington shut down Caitlin pretty well tonight. Just what did she do well, or how can you use that to learn through film with coming up?
Yeah, I wouldn't say 20 points is keeping her down, but she can learn. Dijonai's an athletic guard, and they had a game plan against her, and it's just going to take some time for her to, to figure that speed and quickness and physicality out. It's something she's not had. So, we tried to rep it and mimic that at our practices with our practice guys as much as we could, but it's just not the same. So that, just some timing for her of just having those reps against these kind of players.
Go second row on the left, Cassandra.
With all these tough opponents early on such quick turnarounds, what kind of benefit do you see, if you see one, of having it now as you develop with Caitlin and the rest of the team going forward?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest challenge, and it's what I told them, like, you don't have time to sit on this game and just stay mad or stay upset. Like, we've got to move forward. We've got to get to New York. We've got to figure out what we did tonight that we can do better. On offense, especially the, 25 turnovers. And some of them were just like, they were trying to go inside. They were throwing it really from far out. Like, we've got to have people coming back to the ball and then attacking, getting in the paint. So we've got to get back to figuring out how to handle the Reds. That's what we're going to see all year with Caitlin and with Kelsey.
Go back in the front row to Erica.
Yeah, Coach, with regard to what you're talking about offensively, what is the ask from Aaliyah Boston? And then on the flip side of that, what is the ask of her teammates to feed and get Boston involved in what you want to see offensively?
Yeah, we stat, how many paint touches that we get, and that's just not a catch by a post. That's getting feet in the paint. We just weren't able to get downhill tonight at all. Like, if we could have got our feet in the paint and collapsed their defense, we would have been able to, hit some of our shooters. We just didn't get that. And because we didn't get that and we didn't move when the ball went into AB, our post automatics just weren't there. That's our movement off the ball. So that's just something we're going to look at tomorrow and do better at on Thursday.
I go to Zoom for one. Scripps News.
Hi, I was just thinking, I saw a few points in tonight's game where Caitlin was getting a bit frustrated. I know that's something that she's had in college as well. Like working with a young talent like that, what is your approach to making sure that that frustration doesn't take over, doesn't interfere with the game plan too much?
Yeah, I think it's going back and watching video and showing her exactly, some things that we can do to help her out to relieve some of that pressure. She's a rookie, she's a rookie in this league. This is the best league in the world. We've got to teach her. We've got to teach her what these games are going to look like for her every single night. And we've got to eliminate some of that pressure for her. That's on me. That's on my staff to figure out.
All right, thank you, Coach. We'll bring Nalyssa and Caitlin up here shortly.
Start with local Indiana folks right here. We'll work our way to the crowd.
Angela, start first question on your left front row for Alyssa and Caitlin.
Caitlin, slower start than you really got into it. What was your first impression of your first game in the W?
I thought it was physical. I don't know, obviously it wasn't like the best start in the first half for myself. Getting into foul trouble and then you got to sit on the bench and try to come back into the game and get into a little bit of a flow. But I obviously too many turnovers. That's not going to get the job done, but I think just a lot of things to learn from. I didn't think we played well, and we had cut it to 6 in the third quarter. So I think that's a positive you look at. Like, we really did not play a good game, but we were right there at moments, and then it kind of got away from us at the end of the third and fourth quarter. Didn't have the greatest start. So I think just a lot to learn from. It's the first one. There's going to be good ones. There's going to be bad ones. And, like we said in the locker room, like, we play on Thursday. You got to learn from it and move on and be ready to go.
Got front row on the left too, Scott.
Caitlin, there's so much change going on in your world. How do you be the best version of yourself while adapting to so much change?
Yeah, I think it's, I think just going day by day and, trying to do the best you can no matter what. Obviously, I would have liked to play a little better tonight. I think all of us would say that if we were all sitting up here, and as a team collectively, we would have liked to play better and shown a better product, because I thought we've had some really good practices leading up to this game. But, I think the biggest thing is just, learn from it, move on. Things are going to come fast. That's how it is. This season goes fast. There's 39 games left and plenty of opportunities to do what we want to do. But like Coach said, like, you have to be able to learn and watch it, and that's the way to get better, because there's only going to be so much we can do on the court tomorrow before we play the Liberty at home.
See Ben, second row on the left.
Over here. Christie said that she felt like you guys got punched in the mouth early on. I guess, Caitlin, do you agree with that assessment of, the start?
Yeah, for sure. I'd agree with Coach. I didn't think we came out and I thought our first couple of possessions were okay, and then they kind of went on a run and we really struggled to score. We didn't really get into much. So I would agree with Coach for sure.
Front row on the right.
Kaylin, when it came to the turnovers, you mentioned you felt like you had too many. What was particularly the issue? Was it just the way that the team was guarding you, Dijonai in particular? Anything that stood out?
I think definitely the physicality. I think also just like some uncharacteristic stuff, like I pick up the ball and travel, I dribble off my foot, I pass it on the inbound, I turn it over. So just a few things that are just, you have to be crisper. Like, those are situations where, you're just giving the other team the ball. I think collectively, obviously, 25 turnovers is going to make it really hard for us to win. Coach said they took 66 shots, we took 50. Like, it's really hard to win games when you give them 16 more opportunities than we had. Like, it would be impressive if we won this game doing that. So I think some were uncharacteristic. I think their ball screen traps and hedges were really good, and we didn't fill up collectively to help out whoever the point guard was at the time to, give a passing angle, and we turned it over a lot there. But, they also capitalized on a lot of the turnovers that we had, like in transition. AT made great plays, they finished layups, they found open people. So not only were they turning us over, but they were capitalizing on those too.
Second row in the middle.
Caitlin, you talked a lot about gratitude pregame. I think you used the phrase, "How lucky are we?" twice. I can, in spite of your disappointment, I can still see some gratitude on your face. I mean, in spite of that, I guess, what are your emotional takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm disappointed, and nobody likes to lose. Like, that's how it is. But I don't think you can beat yourself up too much about, one game. I don't think that's going to help this team. I don't think if, no matter who it is on this team, nobody can do that with how they played, and just learn from it and move on. And, I guess I'm just excited for Thursday to get back home and have our home opener. And, I thought it took me a little while to settle into the game. I thought the second half was a lot better, minus some of the turnovers, but just getting more comfortable, and that's just going to come with experience and getting to play with these girls. And the more games I play, the more comfortable I'm going to get. So, yeah, I mean, we definitely need to have more assists too. I think I can find my post a little better as well.
Front row in the middle.
Caitlin, list one for each of you, if I could. Caitlin, for you just talked about it, but in the second half, it seemed like you were able to create a little bit more space, to be able to find some more of your shots. I'm wondering the ways you did that. And then, Liz, for you, I saw from IndianaFever PR, you guys, 50 of the first 64 games you've scored in double digits. As this young team comes together, how much do you take it as kind of a responsibility to be the rock, to be that given?
I mean, we have a lot of great players that can score the ball. Our role on this team is, just to help rebound, run hard, and score when I can. So, I do what I can when I'm in the game.
Yeah, I would say definitely in the second half, I just felt we ran stuff a little bit better. We got into some more actions. We swung the ball a little bit better. I think I was able to get a few mismatches and capitalize on those too.
Second row on the left, Cassandra.
For each of you, this is a tough game for any young team early with the veterans on the Sun. What kind of benefit do you see, if you see one, of having a game like this early as you guys progress throughout the season?
I would say with starting with a team like this, like not this is as hard as it gets, but the ceiling is high for this. And I mean, like she said, we bounced back on Thursday, and we play another great team. So it's just about being a pro and just approaching games and just executing plays and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with us for sure.
Anybody else? Far left there on the ball.
Caitlin, can you just speak to what was your takeaway from playing against Alyssa Thomas for the first time? I'm sure you'd seen her, watched her on film, seen her on TV, but playing her in person, what was your takeaway from that?
Yeah, I think just like she impacts the game in every single area, whether it's offensively, whether it's defensively, whether it's scoring, whether it's passing, whether it's rebounding. Like those are the hardest players to guard, especially a player like her that can get the ball off the rim and push it up the court. Like that just creates matchup problems. I thought we did a pretty good job. Obviously, she's going to do what she does every single night. That's just how good she is. And, obviously I wasn't really matched up with her a ton on offense or defense. She guarded me there a little at the end of the game. But I think more than anything, the best part of her is just, she impacts the game in every single area on both sides of the ball.
Front row in the middle here.
Caitlin, now that you've played your WNBA debut, do you feel as though that there's some weight lifted off of your shoulders?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have enjoyed to play better. I think all of us would have enjoyed to play better. I think we would have loved to win. I didn't really feel much pressure coming into this game. I was trying to just, do whatever I can to help the team and help us win. And like I said, you just go back to the drawing board. You got to learn from it. And, I'm sure we're excited to play on Thursday.
Back to the front row on the left, Scott.
Caitlin, there was that moment at the end of the first half where Aaliyah kind of pulled you aside and had a message. You were probably the one doing that maybe at Iowa. What can you share about maybe what that did for you? And I don't know if that helped settle you or calm you down a little bit.
Yeah, I think just expecting the physicality was the biggest thing. Like, those aren't calls you're going to get. Like, they're going to get those calls. It is what it is. And I think that was basically all she said. Like, just be calm, be aggressive, and be you.
Front row on the left, Angela.
For both of you, we'll start with Nalyssa. Thursday, home opener, expecting a huge crowd with so much support in Indiana. What will that be like for both of you to start off the season at home?
I think it'll be exciting. I mean, it's been a lot of talk about it, and it's exciting to finally come. And I mean, we're just glad to, go out there again and just give them a show and just play hard.
Yeah, for sure. I think anytime you get to have a home opener and have the support that we've had, like our preseason game was tremendous, and now that we get to do it for real, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be loud. We're gonna need to use the environment to our advantage, and I think just learn and move on and get ready to play and embrace it and enjoy it because it is special too.
The last two questions will come from Zoom. We're going to go to, DJ and then Scripps. DJ? You have your hand up, DJ?
No, my hand isn't up.
Okay, so we'll go to Scripps News. This will be the last question.
All right. I guess I'll squeeze one in for each of you. For Caitlin, I'm curious. They threw a lot of you defensively. You mentioned a lot about learning from this. Like, how do you translate some of what happened tonight and some of what you saw the Sun throw at you into more growth as a player, adjusting to the league? And then Nalyssa, you were able to sort of be the beneficiary to some extent, not the best result, but you were able to get some buckets. Like, how do you anticipate, like, as Caitlin adjusts, as Aaliyah becomes a bigger part of the offense, like, how do you anticipate taking advantage and finding opportunities to get to the basket?
Nalyssa, just answer that one about Aaliyah developing part of the offense and you growing off of it too.
Like I said, we have a lot of great players, and everybody's out here to score the ball, defend, play hard. So I would say, like, when I do get the ball, my goal is to score the ball and just execute the offense, play hard on defense, and usually come out with a win. But big turnaround in 2 days and be ready to play then. I don't know what he asked you.
I couldn't hear what he says.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, everybody.